Story of ASEAN, of course, well, the question will be, the relevant question will be, will IEC become the right authority to speed up the development of ASEAN? In my presentation, I would like to point out that there are differences among ASEAN countries, and the differences is quite normal because there are stages on development in various ASEAN countries. As you can see here, the newcomers, or maybe newly open economy in ASEAN, posting a higher than average growth level, economic growth among ASEAN countries, and this is a good thing. It means the potential is there, and also by having ASEAN economic community, it means that the new open community can learn from others and can learn from the mistakes from others, from other countries in the region, and then it means that there will be more efficiency to the development of the economy. But not about economy, it's only about the population. As you can see here, the ASEAN also has a various sizes in population and also on growth. Unfortunately, Indonesia is 40%, 40% of ASEAN, which means that Indonesia will become the average of ASEAN. Because both in population and also in the country standard and in the GDP also 40%. And to give you another example, even on region side, on the size of the countries, Indonesia is 42% of the ASEAN. So what's the pattern on ASEAN on financing the development? There are no single patterns. As you can see here, bank asset to GDP among ASEAN countries is a huge difference. Myanmar, for example, recently opened, bank asset to GDP is still low, less than 32%. But Indonesia also low by this measure, for only 52%. And there's no pattern here because Cambodia is even higher than Indonesia in bank asset to GDP, Laos as well, Philippines, Brunei, and also we can see Vietnam and Singapore is already surpassing the 100%. So this means that bank asset, for example, as a measure of how ASEAN will finance the development is there's no uniformity here. And it's also government bond outstanding to GDP. There are many measures, and then you can see here there are many differences. Well, government bond is quite useful because the main theme about ASEAN always about how we tap the potential, and then the rational mean will be relying on government to finance everything. And even within the ASEAN 5, the largest 5 of ASEAN, there are differences as well. Here, as you can see, created by financial sector, M2 to GDP, for example, there are Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand, for example, already surpassing 100%, but Indonesia is still below, along with the Philippines in terms of M2, broad money to GDP. And then ASEAN bond market. There are differences, even though Indonesia consists of 40% of the economy, output economy of ASEAN. But in reality, in the bond market, Indonesia is still is a very under-leveraged. And then we should be in line with Malaysia, for example, or Thailand, or Singapore, which can have better position in the bond market. And then it means we, in Indonesia, for example, need to learn from the rest of the ASEAN 5. Even though the bond market in Indonesia is growing very fast, about slightly above 15% per year in 2014, but then it means even the business usual is not enough because the need for having bond market, larger bond market, and more liquidity to the bond market is very crucial to the development of economy and also infrastructure within ASEAN countries. And then how about in equity market? Market capitalization is also quite but then what is quite surprising here, Thailand is a very liquid market in equity, even more liquid than Singapore, for example, the only developed market in ASEAN. And then this liquidity will play a role on how global portfolio will invest in the region. The largest institutional investor in the world is the pension fund. They're controlling about $23 trillion of investment. And it means that they will look for growth all over the world. And ASEAN can provide a place for this kind of growth, both in bond market and also in equity market. And even for internal ASEAN, as you can see, there are differences on how ASEAN 5, for example, try to build the capacity for financing for personal level. This is in the case of mutual fund. Indonesia, asset to GDP is only 2.6%. Well, with Philippines over 2.9. But then within ASEAN, you can find Thailand 27.5%, or maybe Singapore 20%, and Malaysia 29%. This is even among ASEAN 5, there are things can be learned from each other. And then ASEAN Economic AEC will become a conducive for having this more structured learning from among ASEAN 5 and also followed by the rest of the ASEAN. And this is examples of how the performance of ASEAN 5 compared to the rest of the emerging market. As you can see, all ASEAN 5 can beat easily the emerging market performance on equity market. So the potential is there for ASEAN 5, and then also the rest of the ASEAN can follow, learning from the ASEAN 5, and then you can see finally in the future there's still room for growth for ASEAN. For example, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, and Philippines, for example, still commanding small part of portfolios among emerging market. But when we can see here, Korea and Taiwan soon will become developed market. There will be more room for ASEAN, and that means more opportunity for ASEAN corporates and also government for financing for growth. I think that's my. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Poltak.